Hi, I'm Ian Riñon, an independent alternative media practitioner, among other things, and uh, another Brewed Banter, this time from Intrepid HQ. So tara, kape tayo. Now, pardon me if I'm wearing a jacket, kasi as I would mention in the Intrepid podcast, the next episode of the Intrepid podcast, I'm already editing the audio for that. Uh, Intrepid HQ has upgraded its air conditioning system. Kaya honestly, it's gonna be very cold. And pagpasensya niya if I have to pan down a bit kasi medyo medyo nagano ako. But the flag's still there, that's for sure. Anyway, mga kababayan, the reason why I am recording this Brood Banter back to back dun sa sa Brood Banter ko sa coffee shop ni Dudut. Uh, it's because when I got home um, last night, I have I've seen in my I actually saw some news items pertaining to the cycling industry as a whole. Uh, in particular, the bicycle manufacturing industry, kasi um, may mga nagsasabi na may mga market analysts na nagsasabi na bicycle manufacturing is gonna take a hard hit in 2023. And the reason why is because a lot of countries have already um, loosened or uh, uh, thrown out their COVID-19 restrictions out of the window. Now, mga kababayan, I really don't want to speculate that much on the pandemic per se. I'm not a health expert, but given the sensus fidelium or the mindset of the world at this point, uh, a lot of people are already sick and tired of wearing masks, whether physical ones or um, psychological ones, especially neurodivergence. But that's besides the point. But then again, yun nga, a lot of people are sick and tired of wearing masks, doing social distancing, or the much proper term is actually physical distancing, because you can always be socially distant even without COVID-19. That's just my that's just my take on the on the on the term social distancing. But then again I am not I'm not commenting about COVID-19. I'm commenting about the cycling industry that went on a boom during the COVID-19 period, the first few weeks and months of COVID-19. Kasi, uh, as you might notice, maraming nagbabike. Kahit saan ka mapunta sa buong Pilipinas, kahit saan ka mapunta sa buong mundo, a lot of people have been cycling. Kasi that's the during that time, during 2020, during Annus Horribilis 2020, uh, people are cycling because that's the only option that they have. And a lot of people who need to go to work, those who are frontliners basically, had to purchase bicycles. Now, there are some government entities or companies that subsidized their employees or their workers with bicycles so that they can report from work and go to and from work. And yun nga, it's a very it's a very good initiative that uh, wherever you want to see it. However, since the restrictions uh, have been taken down at most points, or at the most part, uh it's really a bit concerning, especially for bicycle manufacturers to uh, to basically ramp up their operations just like they did in the second half of 2020 and the whole of 2021, and even in 2022. Kasi uh, since a lot of the reason why, and this is also something that a lot of commentators in the cycling industry have been talking about, and isa na dyan ng GCN Tech. I-check nyo na lang sa description sa baba yung ano nila, yung topic nila tungkol doon. Yeah, it's really a bit concerning kasi uh, this is basically how do I say this? The ito to. This is a classic example of the law of supply and demand. During 2020, the supply was low but the demand was very very high dahil sa sobrang dami ng ng kailangan magbike. Kailangan, the keyword here is kailangan, necessity. Kailangan nilang magbike kasi yun lang ang pwedeng sakyan papunta sa trabaho nila. Sure, they would be uh, a bit winded when they get to work, but at least they can work. And at least medyo lenient pa yung mga employers during that time. But then again, a lot of people who have a little bit of money, who wants to do alternatives to cycling and not lose their shit. Basically, they bought bikes para makalabas man sila kahit dyan lang, makapadyak man sila, mapawisan man sila during the quarantine period and all that. It also circulates the blood and clears out the mind, actually. And that's also what I've been experiencing firsthand nung nagsimula ako magbisikleta April 2022. Almost a year now. Talagang yan. And nagkataon pa na the first days na nagsimula akong magbike and ni-record ko sarili kong magbike sa Strava is during Holy Week. So of all times. So or of all dates, Holy Week. So yun lang naman. Sinide note ko lang yun. You see, mga kababayan, it's really frustrating na ganito yung mga balita na mahahanap mo tungkol dito. And yun nga, the cycling industry is gonna struggle kasi yun nga, Specialized and Giant, two of the world's most known bicycle manufacturers, have announced that, or there are some speculations that they are scaling down their businesses, or at the very least scaling down their operations kasi it's the world's going back to normal, and a lot of people would not have the time to cycle if there's public transport around. But in the Philippine context, since we are unfortunately a car-centric country, it's gonna hit us hard. I mean, it's already hitting us hard kasi may mga nagsasabi na nga na tanggalin na ang bike lanes and all that. Pero kasi mga kababayan, there are people who have no other choice than to cycle to work kung gusto nila na makaipon sila at hindi sila gumastos sa pamasahe. So we also have to uh, consider that. Thing is, the global trend is that the cycling industry is gonna take a massive hit. I hope it's not as bad as a lot of analysts uh, are uh, are saying. But then again, if it is true, it would actually benefit the consumers. It would actually benefit those who would like to upgrade their bikes, those who would like to buy new bikes, even if it's a second hand one, basta bagong bike, new bike date pa rin, kahit na second hand kasi it's actually a much better choice kasi nga makukuha mo siya ng mas mura compared to factory price or sa brand new. At ang maganda pa dyan, yung nagbebenta, in-upgrade din niya. So, parang may balance siya between value and, value and, sabihin na natin parang it's a balance it's a balance when it comes to value for money. So, yun lang naman yun. I'm no economist, and I would not really want to divulge anything at this point, especially yun nga dahil nga I'm just I'm just a hobby cyclist, mga kababayan. So yun lang naman yung sa akin. But then again, marami nagsasabi na even though consumers and hobby cyclists of all kinds, mapa road bike man yan, MTP, gravel, or hybrids, they would benefit from this. That's for sure. Pero ang tatamaan talaga ng matindi ay ang mga bike shops. So talagang mahihirapan ang mga bike shop na mga local bike shops to be specific, kasi yun nga, makikipagkompetensya sila sa mga malalaking bicycle companies na overstock yung overstock yung mga warehouses nila dahil akala nila the pandemic would drag on for years to come, but since 2020, starting from 2021 actually, when the vaccinations and the restrictions are lifted from all of these from most countries in the world, it's basically the beginning of the end of COVID-19. So it sounded like the beginning of the end of of the cycling industry as well. But you know what, mga kababayan, it should not, I hope it should not worry us, dahil nga parang makaka-benefit pa nga tayo kasi we can buy on the cheap, and at the same time makaka-discount pa tayo. But the thing is, if the cycling industry is to thrive, even in this time of recession, or sabihin na natin downtrend, what I can suggest, aside from buying on the cheap or buy the old stocks kasi they're still good, and 2022 and 2021 models are still good, maybe the best suggestion that I would personally leave to my fellow cyclists is this: befriend and support your local bike shops and bikesmiths. Kung may kayo, kung may mga bike shop kayo malapit sa mga bahay ninyo, puntahan nyo sila, kaibiganin ninyo, tawag dito, tumambay kayo doon, and support them by buying from them. I myself am doing this. May bike shop akong pinupuntahan. It's not too far from Intrepid HQ. Kaya ko nang i-bike yon technically, so okay lang. I'm not even sure if it applies to other people, pero for myself, yun nga, malapit lang yung bike shop sa amin, kaya pinapadyak ko na lang yung bike ko para kung kailangan kong palitan ng parts, mag-upgrade, or bumili ng mga necessary stuff para sa bike. So I really suggest that if we are to survive and thrive in this downtrend in the cycling industry, I highly suggest you support your local bike shops and bikesmiths, kasi sila ang backbone ng cycling industry. Sila sa kanila pumupunta ang mga siklista kapag sa kanila pumupunta ang mga siklista kapag may kailangan silang may kailangan silang i-upgrade or ipa-repair sa bisikleta nila. So I highly recommend you do support our local bike shops, kasi sila ang dehado dito, mga kababayan. So to all the local bike shops and bikesmiths out there, I raise a toast to you. Ride safe kung nagbabike po kayo, at sana supportahan kayo ng cycling community, and I can assure you of my own personal support, lalong-lalo na do sa local bike shop and bikesmith ko. Cheers! Okay. Now, I think kota na ako sa Brewed Banter. Mag 18 minutes ito, so I'll cut this short. Diretso upload na to. So with all that said, this is Intrepid Ian Riñon reminding you to, at all times, be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Until then, look alive, stay alive, be kind to yourself and to each other, and thank you for watching. From here in Intrepid HQ, and from one of our dogs here, see you next time. Ian out.